Good morning, Alpha 40 fans. Welcome to my monthly deck tech and discussion video where I chronicle my adventures in Alpha 40. I'm going to show you the deck I played in the month of May for the Alpha 40 Online League. I'll also put the deck construction rules in the description below if you want to see how to build an Alpha 40 deck. First, I'll show you the cards I used in my deck. That it was a blue-white, Black Vise, Time Twister kind of control deck. We ran 5 copies of Basic Island, 5 copies of Basic Plains, and we ran 6 dual lands. We ran the white duals, Savannah, Scrubland, and Tundra, and the blue and black and green duals, Bayou, Tropical Island, and Underground Sea. I'm gonna try this month to add the other duals. I had run a 5-color deck before, but it was very inconsistent, so I'm going to try to do 5 colors once more for the month of June and then let you know how that goes. So in the month of May, our deck went 0-2. We lost to a mono black deck and a black-red Black Vise deck. The blue spells that we ran were Time Twister, Mana Short, Copy Artifact, Power Sink, 2 copies of Unsummoned, and Clone. I thought that we were going to face more decks that had creatures in them, and I was wrong. I did not see that many creatures this month. I even lost to a creatureless deck that really took advantage of the fact that this deck was trying to take out creatures. I was running Balance for creature removal, 3 copies of Disenchant, 3 copies of Swords to Plowshares for more creature removal, and I even was flying a Serra Angel in this deck. I think I was able to cast Serra Angel once, but I wasn't able to keep it in play for very long. And then the artifacts in the deck, we ran Soul Ring, which is probably the best artifact in the game. And then I ran 3 copies of Black Vise to do damage when they have more than 4 cards in their hand. I ran a Howling Mine, which I thought was an efficient way to cast the card draw spell. You were limited to Jayemdae Tome, Howling Mine, or Braingeyser in this format. You're allowed one of the lucky charms, as they call them, so I was using Ivory Cup because I had mostly cheaper white spells that I could cast to gain life off the Ivory Cup. I included 1 Jade statue for to be sometimes a creature, and then I like Demonic Tutor and Regrowth to be able to tutor for Time Twister and regrow it and re-twister again. So that was the deck. That was 40 cards. I was using brand new sleeves last month, so I sleeved up the cards I would like to put into this deck for the month of June. I'm using the KMC Perfect Fits top loaders, the Hyper Matte white sleeves, and the Character Guard outer sleeves. So I would like to put in the other 3 red duals so that I would run 9 dual lands, and so I'm going to take out 3 basic plains in order to do that. So the plains are coming out, Badlands, Taiga, and Plateau are coming in. So now I will have all 5 colors represented and be able to cast pretty much anything I want. I'm also going to add some red spells, so I'm going to add 2 basic mountains and take out 2 of these basic islands. And that'll be my spell, my mana base. I think we're still running 16 lands, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So 16 cards out of 40 is 40% of the deck, which is what we want. Now for the spells that I'd like to add in, and I'll explain what changes affect other cards. I'd like to put in a Fireball. Fireball is a great finisher. It also deals X damage divided evenly round down if you pay X beyond the first. So this kind of functions as a balance if you have creatures to remove. So I'm going to take out Balance, I'm going to put in Fireball. Disintegrate is also a good creature removal spell. If they're not running creatures though, I can disintegrate my opponent for X damage. So I'm going to take out a Swords to Plowshares because Disintegrate removes creatures from the game just like Swords to Plowshares does. So let's put in Disintegrate there. I'm going to put in a Lightning Bolt, which does 3 damage to any target. If they have smaller creatures, it'll function as a Swords to Plowshares. And if they don't have creatures, I can just lightning bolt them to the face. I'd like to put in an Iron Star, which is the 1 lucky charm. So I will have to take out Ivory Cup in order to put in Iron Star. Iron Star is also functions like a Circle of Protection red. If they're on red, I can gain life anytime they cast red spells, but I'll probably cast Iron Star early because it only costs 1 colorless mana. And then I can gain life anytime I cast Fireball, Disintegrate, or Lightning Bolt. I'm going to put in a Basalt Monolith, which is an artifact for 3 colorless that'll add 3 colorless to my mana pool. Basically like an artifact Black Lotus that adds 3 colorless. So I'm going to take out, I'll put that down here. I'm going to take out an Unsummon, which worked maybe once last month, but it did not work against the second deck that I played, the Black-Red Vise deck that was running no creatures. This was a dead card in my hand, so I'm definitely taking that out. I'm also going to add in Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual is kind of similar to a Basalt Monolith. This will give me mana ramp early in the game, so I can cast multiple Black Vices, or a Jade Statue perhaps for a discount. So I'm going to take out the other Unsummon, because Unsummon, I'm going to count on the fact that I might not face an opponent that has any creatures in their deck, so Unsummon, I do not want that card in my hand. Chaos Orb is a destruction spell. We took out Balance already in order to make room for Chaos Orb. Chaos Orb is a creature removal if you target creatures, so I'm going to take out this copy of Clone, which I found out does not actually copy the Jade Statue, because Jade Statue is only a creature during the attack or defense phase, and you cannot cast sorceries, summon spells during those 2 phases. So in the last month, Clone could only copy the Serra Angel, which I was not able to do. So Clone is going to go out this month, and then for some creatures, I'm going to include a Jade Statue, a second copy of Jade Statue. Jade Statue is only a creature during attack or defense, so I'm going to take out Serra Angel in exchange for Jade Statue number 2. When I was building this deck, I was also looking at old school decks that I've had in the past that did well, which I kind of run the deck in some of the old school tournaments. So the deck is 5 colors. It runs all 5 Moxen and Black Lotus, but in Alpha 40 you can only run 1 Mox or Lotus or Soul Ring, and so I'm going to keep the Soul Ring in this deck. The deck also runs 4 copies of Mishra's Factory quite often, and Mishra's Factories are lands that become assembly workers. So those are only creatures when they become activated. So Jade Statue, in my mind, is a Mishra's Factory in Alpha 40. So I'm going to add another Jade Statue to the deck, and I'm going to take out the Swords to Plowshares, and not going to need any creature removal. We're trying to do less creature removal, actually. And the last card I'm going to add in is Braingeyser, which is a finisher. It'll be good for the late game when I can make them draw a ton of cards and then take a lot of damage off Black Vice. So Braingeyser goes in. Howling Mine has to come out because that is a draw spell. So I can only run Braingeyser, Howling Mine, or Jayemdae Tome. Jayemdae Tome is traditionally the draw spell in the deck, also, but you would also run Braingeyser. So if I can only run one or the other, Braingeyser is better in Alpha 40 because it is a finisher, and you can use it to make your opponent draw 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards, and then take 3 times that damage off Black Vice. So that is going to be my red, white, blue build for the month of June. Again, it lost to a mono black. The Twister Vise deck from last month lost to the mono black deck because they had Copper Tablets, Curse Lands, and Drain Life was the finisher that they used to complete game 1. And then it also lost to a black-red Vise Land Destruction, which had Lightning Bolts, Sinkholes. It had Icy Manipulators that tapped down my Black Vices. They also ran Curse Land and a copy of Smoke. So I'm going to keep the Disenchants, 3 copies of Disenchant in my deck so that I can destroy their artifacts or enchantments. I thought about using Shatter as a red spell, but Disenchant kind of is a twofer. It counts as, can take out artifacts or enchantments, so it's a little bit better than Shatter in this deck. Since I'm running such a strict mana base of only 16 lands. So my early game spells are basically going to be Black Vise for the artifacts, Black Vise and Iron Star. Also Lightning Bolt I can use to get cards out of my hand if they're running Black Vises. Disenchant will be also pretty early game because it only costs 2, and perhaps Copy Artifact will be early game if I can copy Artifact to Black Vise or a Chaos Orb turn 2. And then mid game I'm going to use Mana Short, Time Twister, Power Sink, Disintegrate, and maybe Jade Statue would be considered mid game, where I can kind of lay some creatures down and slow my opponent down. And then my end game, my third and final phase, I'm going to use the Fireball or Disenchant or Braingeyser to do a ton of X spell damage. I can Fireball them for 10, or Fireball them for 15, or Disintegrate them for 10, or Disintegrate them for 15, or Braingeyser them for 5, 6, 7, and hope that they take damage off Black Vise. So I'm going to roll this deck in the month of June. I'll make another video in July and let you know how this did. But leave comments below if you think this 5-color mess of a deck is going to do okay in Alpha 40. I thought about running more than 40 cards. I had an idea to maybe run like 50 or even 60 cards in the deck, but I did pare it down to 40. I didn't run a bunch of Lightning Bolts and Fireballs. I just kept it to the 3 red spells, 3 white spells, 5 blue spells, the 2 black spells, plus the Regrowth and a bunch of artifacts. I think there's 9 artifacts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 artifacts, 10 artifacts, Soul Ring. So there are 10 artifacts in the deck, which is 25% of the deck. So let me know in the comments how you think this deck will do for the month of June. I'll definitely give you a report at the end of the month and let you know how it went. Appreciate all the likes, comments, follows, and subscriptions, and the encouragement to continue Alpha 40, even though I don't win a lot of games, but I'm having a lot of fun and playing these spells every month. So thanks everyone. Catch you next month.